Okie dokie. Snooky. Part 3. It's almost to say that, if you're with a dark-skinned woman, you didn't make it. She's not glorious enough to travel with, and she's she's unskilled, and all of these crazy things that have been associated with us, and it's not real. It's not true. But a lot of people believe in the boogeyman and still have faith in Santa Claus, and that's the world we're living in. You can co-sign and believe in whatever you want to believe in, but trust you me, if you figure out a way to truly shine and truly embrace that which people think and have told us is ugly, then a shift occurs. And those that have eyes to see will see, and you'll attract and be thing. Hi, B. And those that don't, it's almost like if people don't want to come to the party, they don't have to dance, so they don't want to have fun. But it's just to remind black women that we are gonna be okay. And what's so sad is that what this woman was saying in Brazil is true. One generation away from not having any women of her color or any darker skinned women in her family, because all of her daughters are marrying white. And what that says is like there's such a pressure, and there's such like this thing on black women to not want to procreate with our own, because God forbid our children go through this type of experience. But this is not the only place that exists in the world. And even though over 70% of the women in Nigeria are bleaching their skin on a daily basis, you've got to wonder and ask yourself, why is it in so-called the hubbub or the continent, or why is this happening in these specific parts of the world? And there is a reason. It's almost to send a greater message to everyone that your grandmother and your great-grandmother are about this. So why haven't you got on the gravy train? And I'm telling you now, things that are always like peer pressure, things that everybody is telling you to do, is literally the thing that you have to pay attention to and just be aware of. And that's kind of what I was saying with just historical figures. It's almost to like do research and start to remember or start to celebrate things that are often whitewashed and are often not spoken about. And that goes to even be with nationality. It goes back to being from someplace and knowing your true history. If we as original people knew that Cleopatra, that all of the greats that are even shown as to be lighter or white women were actually really darker skinned women, it would oh my gosh, to watch a movie and it looked like someone truly like me with dark skin and all of these things, it would be like, okay, that makes sense. But does it, if all we see and all that's supported is whiter roles, even in like the Games of Thrones or some Egypt, everybody is casting everything the opposite way. And it's been happening for a while now. But even in this whole backlash of the Oscars and all these things, it's like there has been no one in Hollywood, in mainstream Hollywood, that has said, we're gonna just create our own production company. And even Tyler Perry, he did it, but yet still there's no films that are being told that truly depict us in a light where we're not necessarily cooning or having to wear dresses or having to be outside of our natural state in order to make money. So again, the things that are awarded and the things that are celebrated here are celebrated by pretty much bastardizing and reminding us that we're not good enough. And the only way you're gonna make it is if you coon, retard, marry a white man, be with a white woman. Even sidebarring again, a lot of us as black women still have so much faith in black men that aren't attracted to us. It's almost like it is an epidemic on a larger scale, but those that aren't, it's almost like they bit the bullet and allow them to be. I don't want to be with anybody that doesn't truly want to be with me, and that doesn't wants me to wear a wig every day, and supports me doing crazy things like lightening my skin, and I don't want a man like that. And it's not to say that those men don't exist, but at the same token, there are men that do exist that will celebrate your really dark skin, and they might be far in between. But remember, we're not going to see those men on TV. We're not going to hear about those stories of darker skinned men still really loving their darker brown skinned women all the time. Now we see some imagery, and it's supporting women in their natural hair journeys and all these other things, but it's not enough. We need to do more, and we need to be bold in our stances and not feel apologetic by saying, hey, when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna have a little curly cues and some what you call peas. But even our language and how we talk about ourselves is so negative. It's like I can't even go into it. There's so many, but again, my mind, I'm trying to figure out ways to not even focus and to not even allow my mind to entertain and to think on that level anymore. And it takes a while. I remember back in the day in grade school and in college, it's like being one in college, it was different than in high school. I went to performing arts, and then I went to Syracuse. And Syracuse was a much more white experience. It's like if you weren't in a sorority, you weren't down. And if you didn't have, and then if you if you didn't join a sorority, you weren't down and you weren't cool. But isn't that like all things in life? Isn't there like group pressure everywhere we go? Even in the third grade, it was like, if I talked a certain way, I was considered white. But if I spoke slang and all these things, am I down? I mean, it gets so deep, and I could go on and on for days about the levels of abuse that takes place, and the fact that beautiful actors, especially black men, like Nate Parker, who I don't know if you guys know, but he just Nate Parker's a beautiful new actor. They kind of compare him to Denzel. Denzel, all black women find and used to really be attracted to, because there was an energy about Denzel. If I really, sidebar, it's a very heterosexual energy, and for women that are really attracted to that raw energy, or just to, a man's energy, which for us represents, something that isn't fickle, something that doesn't always need to scream to be heard. Someone who can stand really proud and erect in their bodies and not necessarily feel as though they have to kowtow or co-sign certain group things in order to be cool. Like, that to me is the real swag in a man. And then that attracts consistency with other things, whether it be consistency in waking up in the morning, or attracting a good job, or all these things that are really external factors of something that we've already claimed internally. So there are many great men out there, but they might not be ballers, and they might not be seen like that. People that often aren't seen are the ones that are doing the most work, and we have to always remember that now, because it takes time. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I do things when the time is permissible, and I'm not taking time away from my son, or sidebarring on other things, like doing stuff to produce and make money, without necessarily having to say, okay, I'm gonna cut my hair, I'm gonna get this job, even though I know I'm gonna walk into work every day and really, really, really be slandered. So for a while, I had to almost like, say, okay, well, I'd rather, and this is me, this is my personality, I'd rather not make a lot of money right now and figure out a way to really galvanize my own wealth than going to work every day and kind of feel this kind of quiet jealousy and envy. Because again, if you're a darker skinned person, you're not even taught that envy and jealousy can be something that you will go through or you will attract. And that's also very hard, because then you're in a state of denial and you're like, there's got to be something wrong with me, nobody thing. It's like, no, sometimes people don't want to say, hey, I'm just kind of envious and jealous of something that I don't even know how to talk about or know how to, express. But all of that is to say that, don't bleach your skin, women. If I can just say anything, there's so many things that are gonna fall and are gonna domino effect and literally rip off of your face in the future. And it's the same for, you know, silicone and all these things. Sometimes I just do workouts in my bikini out here just to be a reminder for other women that, hey, we don't have to buy hips, and we don't have to have big, you know, Kentucky Fried Booty, and you know, you don't have to necessarily wear costumes if you don't believe that that's who you truly are. You know, that's kind of how I felt with the whole Beyonce thing. It's like, you know, yeah, you know, her video might have been cool and had some imagery in it that reminded black people that she still wants to be down, but you know, until Beyonce makes a statement, or until Beyonce really uses her platform for more than just selling tickets, and for being, you know, I would say, an open portal for marketing. You know, I'm sure Red Lobster is making a lot of money, and you know, all these, you know, black folk is, you know, so, you know, inspired, and you know, let them be, because there's a time and place for everything, and that's what she's supposed to do. Entertainers are supposed to, you know, take you away from reality. So with that being said, those beautiful people out there, those beautiful young women out there that are brown and that are saying, you know, I really wish this, that, and the third, just know that, you know, you have some magical properties in your body and in your genetic core being, and the ancestors and all that, even if you forgot, are with you, will always reward and be with you, and support your journey. And truthfully, we are magical beings, so let's start to remember that and celebrate each other's beauty. And those that don't, allow them to exist where they need be, you know? Till then, you guys, I love you. Peace.